Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from Challenge Miami. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Challenge North America, City Bikes Veneto, Challenge Athletes Foundation, Florida Dairy Farmers, and Wahoo. Our next guest, three-time Ironman Australia champion, Laura Siddall. Laura, how you doing?
I'm very well, Bob. It's good to see you, and welcome to Miami.
Last time I saw you, we were at Challenge Daytona, and not that you hadn't already come off of an injury and trying to rehab, and you were working there with the pros, but then I see you on crutches. Like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, it's been a rough few years, I know, for everybody, but for me, for injury, yeah. So I was just recovering from my collarbone, and then got to Daytona, and I was working at the event, but I was part of the Pro-Am relay, and we'd just done the swim, and I was running from swim to the transition to tag my team rider, and I tore the fascia in my calf. So that was on the Friday night before the race weekend, and so I went on crutches for the weekend, which was actually the quickest way to get around the site. It's a pretty big site in Daytona. That was that one.
The hard part is you were only in the most gigantic venue on the planet. I mean, nothing is close. Everything, and when you're on crutches, it's like,
I tried to get hold of a golf cart, but there are far more important people that were riding around in the golf cart, so I got the crutches. But it was a good workout.
What's fascinating to me is when you won your first Ironman Australia, one of the gals who was going to be racing as a pro for the first time, Lauren Parker, was paralyzed on April 18th, not long before that race. And you knew of Lauren, and you went to visit her after you won the race and created a bond that lasts till this day. Talk a little bit about that and why it meant so much to you.
Yeah, I got goosebumps just remembering that. I was going over to race, Ironman Australia. I hadn't done the full there before. I'd done the half as an age grouper, but it was first time going as a pro. And I didn't know Lauren at the time, but knew her name and knew she was this up-and-coming young professional. And then we heard the news 10 days out that she'd had this horrific accident, was in hospital, was going to be paralyzed. And I don't know, just something struck with me, and I felt that after the race I just needed to go and I needed to reach out to her and didn't really know what to do but show support from the athletes that were in Port Macquarie and that we were racing, and when she should have been there, and then I was able to go down and meet her, which was I remember it was kind of quite weird because obviously hadn't met her before, but then you're meeting her in a very awful environment.
Right.
She's just literally days from having this incident, an accident, and we're probably both quite awkward as well first time. But it was probably one of the best things I've ever done for now having that friendship with Lauren, and she's, I'm great. I would love to have got to know her from racing on the race course with her, but I'm grateful for now. Being able to know Lauren, know Brad, follow them. She's just like, I talk about like my injuries of the last 2 years, but it's just nothing to what Lauren goes through. So that kind of puts things in perspective most days.
Well, and then you were kind enough to come out a number of years in a row, San Diego Triathlon Challenge. We brought Lauren over, and you were there that first. I get teary thinking about it, but that first year when she came over, and she was injured in April. This is October. So it's only a few months later. Yeah. And I think she came over thinking, I'm going to be the story here. I'm the one who was a pro triathlete, was injured, and then she sees 150. And you had no idea what you were in for yourself, right? No. So you see 150 people who are in wheelchairs and kids with no legs and people who are, triple, quadruple amputees. And obviously I've seen this for years, but for yourself, what was your reaction to all of this craziness?
I mean, when there were two things, I wasn't really sure how Lauren would react. Like, I'd never been to the event either, so I wasn't sure what to expect, but wasn't sure how Lauren would react with everything being so raw and new to her. And I don't think she'd really, and she talked about it on a podcast recently, she really hasn't gone through that morning stage anyway, because she just got straight into sport.
Right.
But I mean, when we got there, I think the first evening we went along to the kids event. You took us there, and it was just mind-blowing. It was just this sea of kids buzzing around the hotel complex in their wheelchairs. They were doing wheelies. I thought they were going in the swimming pool because there was no barrier. There was and I forget his name, there was some little kid, and I was saying he was 2 at the time. He's probably he'll be 5 or 6 now, running around on his stumps, and he had no arms as well. I've never seen anyone move so fast, but he had the biggest smile on his face.
Exactly.
And that, I think, was just the smile, the laughter. The kids looked so happy, and then over the days, getting the opportunity to see the surf clinic and then the swimming clinic and then running it was just mind-blowing for me, and an incredible experience to see just how these athletes are getting such an opportunity or making an opportunity of their life through sport and through CAF. And
then seeing Lauren within a year of her accident take a bronze at the Commonwealth Games, right? And you're going, that's usually there is a mourning period, right? There's a mourning period, and it's avoiding that spiraling depression that sport can help with. And she gets the bronze at Commonwealth, and both of us were blown away. And then the following year, she wins world championships, and now she's a hopeful, not just for Paralympic gold in triathlon,
in cycling,
but in cycling, in road race and time trials. And just watching her mature and seeing her doing photo shoots and sponsored by Bahrain and buying a new home and how her life has changed for the better. It's got to make you feel good. Oh, I mean, it's amazing. And we were talking just before this off air, it's been incredible to see her grow. So before the accident happened, I think she was coming into confidence as an age group then pro athlete, but still quite young, quite new. And then the accident happened, and it was really then suddenly thrown into all this attention and how to respond. And she's really, not blossomed, I guess, in one way, grown into the athlete she is today and the person. And we see her doing the speaking and the engagements and the photo shoots and buying a house, and the independence that she now has been amazing. And the fact that she's absolutely just crushing it on the race course and how she's adapted and changed to those sports is just amazing. And as I get to know her more and as we've been friends, it doesn't surprise me. I can now see what she was like as that athlete and as that kid growing up, and that she is so determined and driven. And when she gets that goal in her head, it's like she's just latched on, and she wants to be the very best she can be, and the best in the world, and the best in the world, not just against her peers, but against anyone she steps onto the line against. Yeah. So the other thing you were intimately involved with was Challenge Daytona, which was a watershed moment for the sport. Yeah. Right? $1.15 million, the greatest athletes on the planet during a pandemic, getting these people from all corners of the world to Daytona for this race, which probably 99% of people thought would not happen. Talk a little bit about just having that thing occur and the buzz that it's created. You're a professional triathlete. The buzz that it's created among the pro triathletes. Yeah, I think everyone wanted that bit of hope at the end of the year last year with what had happened, and Daytona certainly created that and more. I think there was a lot of doubt as to whether it would go on. I think those of us that were sort of behind the scenes had pretty much confidence in Bill and Gillian and the team at Challenge Daytona and what they would put on and the precautions they would put in place. But I remember race morning or race day and being on that start line, and I had those start line nerves, and I wasn't even racing, but it's something that we've all missed. It was that adrenaline, and you could see I remember watching the women, they were so nervous because they just hadn't had a race, nor a race of that magnitude and something different, and with the coverage and the format and stuff like that. And I just think that they've done it was needed, and I think they've done an amazing job for the sport, and I'm really excited to see what Challenge North America are going to do for the sport over the next few years. The interesting part, and it was a gamble, right? It's like, okay, we have had nothing going on. We're going to bring all these athletes together, and there's going to be no warm-up races. We're going right to the World Series. This is it. Super Bowl is going to be happening, and we're going to ante up, and we're going to get full-time TV. Yeah. And that was a risk. If the numbers were crappy, then it's proof of concept. It didn't work. Yeah. But everything went according to plan. The coverage was great. The NASCAR TV guys took the sport, I think, to another level.
Yeah.
What was the feedback from the pros side of it in terms of how the event came, not just the operations, but the post and just seeing all the media around it?
I mean, I think there's, with anything, there's always learning points. I think it was great, actually, the NASCAR production team, even as soon as the coverage had finished the next day, they were like, because it's the first event they'd done, we can do this differently, we should have done this. And they said they were
thought it was a 2
learning.
out of a 10.
Yeah, exactly.
And we were like,
so
going, that's a 50.
Yeah, so I'm like pretty excited for Miami. But I think from the pros' perspective, they were, I'd like to think, and the feedback I got, they were super happy. I think they felt looked after and respected. I think they felt like they were professionals in the sport. I hope they had great experiences as well with the team, and I hope that that's kind of setting that level of where we want to take the sport as a profession. And so there's a responsibility on the athletes to deliver, but then a responsibility for the fans, the event teams, the media, and everyone else to step up as well. And I have to think for Challenge Daytona as well, like the PTO being involved in that as well, and the work that we're doing with the PTO is good for the sport.
It is hand in glove, correct? And so you've got Challenge, you've got Challenge in Europe with ZB and Felix, and then you've got Challenge North America with Bill and Jillian, and then you've got PTO. And there are 3 sort of separate entities, all of them working together for a common goal?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I think even the other race events, organizations, we need to all work together for the better of the sport, and we need all the events and and everything for the athletes to race. So I think what the PTO and what we're trying to do with the PTO is pretty exciting, but then I think it's great that organizations like Challenge North America are coming on board, and the vision they have for the next few years of racing, and where they think they can take the pro racing and the age group racing, but with the coverage as well, is super exciting.
Well, and with the idea of, when I just was interviewing Bill Christie, 15 events between U.S. and Canada on racetracks. I mean, as someone who's been in the sport for a while, you look at this and you see a playground, right? You see that you could be doing a full week of triathlon and duathlon and clinics and camps, and is that the way you look at it as well? Yeah,
I think so. And even now we talk about different formats and stuff. You could, you've got the Super League, which is an exciting format more for the ITU, the short course athletes. But when you've got a contained site like this, there's an opportunity to bring different elements like that. I know, knowing Bill, he's got some crazy ideas as well. We do have to rope him in every now and again, but I like his energy and his pure passion for the sport and what he wants to do over the next few years.
So when you recover from this latest debacle, what are your goals for this season?
Yeah, well, I mean, I came out to the States in January with the plan to race here in Miami. Unfortunately, the calf got re-diagnosed from a 6 to 8 week to a 12 to 16 week injury. So that kind of curtailed things a bit. But yeah, I mean, just want to get back fit and healthy. And then I'd plan to race Challenge Roth this year. So
September, that gives you time.
So that's gone to September. Although I was also planning to do Ironman Wales, and they're now back-to-back weekends. So that might not happen. So it'll probably be Roth. There's a slim chance that I might be out in Tokyo being a visually impaired reserve guide, reserve race guide. So that's kind of
for paratriathlon.
For paratri as well,
nice.
Which I'd love to do, because obviously then I can also hopefully go and support Lauren and see her get a medal. But so I mean, I'm going to look for races sort of that middle of the year. Whether that's going to be in Europe, I'm not sure. Whether that means trying to get back out to the States. But yeah, first goal is just get to be fully able to train without an injury, which has been a couple of years away since the last time.
Hopefully October 24th you'll be back in San Diego for best day in trial.
I would love to be. Of course, that is on the calendar. The back end of the year looks pretty busy at the moment, but that's always going to be a big circle on the calendar.
I love it. Laura Siddall has been our guest. Hey, thanks for all the support of CAF. You've been wonderful.
Thank you, Bob. I mean, I think what you and the team do, it's just like the number of lives you touch and stuff. It's just incredible, and to see those athletes achieve it certainly inspires me.
We all win.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, Breakfast with Bob, Challenge Miami, everybody. Hold on. We will be right back.